Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Whitefish, Montana. And today is the 25th of the month. So let's do our Christmas card. Let's take a look. So I have a card here. This is the style of card that we're going to make, but we're doing it in a Christmas version. This was a card that Beth Strickland from my team taught us at our last meeting. It was a super fun card, and I took this idea and I modified it just a little bit. So on this card we cut off these corners and then placed them down here. The paper that I chose is from the Winter Meadows paper, and the back side, the front is beautiful, but the back side is a little dreary. So I did not want to have that covering this paper. So I've done something a little different. So this is cut at 5 1/4 by 12 by 12. Yes, 5 1/4 by 12. All right, and then it is scored. Ooh, I'm gonna have to put the measurements for that in the description. So I can't remember exactly where it's scored. I'll have to put that in the description, but let's go ahead and start. So there's a score line here, so we're going to fold in like this, and we're going to burnish it like this. This is the Winter Meadows paper, and then we're going to fold this back to us, all right, so that we really get to see all this beautiful blue and white wintry paper. And we're going to fold this side in and burnish it, and we're going to fold this one back. So it almost looks like a gatefold type card, but we're just using DSP for the main part of the card like this. Now, instead of cutting this off, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over. We're going to miter a little bit off of here. So we're going to just cut a slight sliver from out here to the point like that. So just a little sliver like that on both sides of the top. All right, just that little sliver off. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fold this over just before the score line, and we're going to crease it. And then I tend to just use my thumbnail there, and then I use the bone folder to come in and really miter it good, or not miter it, burnish it good. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to fold it in almost to the score line, and then we'll bring in our bone folder like this, and then we're going to glue that down, all right, so that it stays put. So we're going to put a little bit of glue in here and glue that down like that, and then on this side we're going to glue that down. So we're just changing it up a little bit, and it's only because this side of the paper isn't as gorgeous as the front. If I had had paper like this that had a really pretty design, then I would have cut this off and put the triangles on this side to give it that look. But I did not want this on the front side. I really wanted this side of the paper to glow and grow. So we have a little bit here showing, but other than that, it is not taking over the whole paper. All right, so there we have that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're going to put it on our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cardstock as our base. All right, so I'm going to put my glue back here like this. All right. And I'm going to then fold it and center it on here like that. All right, and so I have Misty Moonlight as my blue because the darker color is Misty Moonlight, the brighter color is the Blueberry Bushel. All right, and this paper is from the Winter Meadows in the online exclusives. All right, so then what I did is we're going to open this up. We need some space to write. You could put white over here so that you're not covering this. You could put white over here to write, but I decided to go ahead and do a little bit more so that I could write a little note. At Christmas time, I try and write a little bit of a note, but I don't want to cover it all, so I didn't cover the whole thing and I left it so we could still see the bottom. Or you could put it down here and see the top. Oh, I might do that. That's really pretty this time. I'll show you my other card that I originally did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue. You can see I'm using a scrap, but you can't see the paint or the ink through the paper because we have such wonderful paper. And we're going to glue this onto here like this. All right. And then we'll take this and we'll glue it to the front. Oh, and I just realized I forgot to stamp. So we'll have to do the makeshift stamping to protect it. All right, so we're going to center that right down there. But I wanted to stamp some trees along here with our Forever Forest stamp. So let's go ahead and do that. Bring that in here. And so then what I'm going to have to do is to protect everything, I'm going to have to use some Post-it notes to protect the rest of my card, right? So we'll just lay the Post-it notes over there and over here. So I've got the Post-it notes, but right up to my white cardstock. And then I'm going to use the Blueberry Bushel to stamp. And I just want the tops of the trees to show up, not the whole tree, otherwise I won't have any writing. So I'm just going to ink part of it and then stamp part of it. All right, like that. And so I've protected the rest of my card by using Post-it notes. You can use the big ones, you can use the little ones, but that's how you can protect it when you forget to stamp. All right, so now I need to stamp on here. Let me pull in some scratch paper. I need to stamp these same trees, but I'm going to stamp the whole thing on here so that I can then die cut them. So I want to make sure to stamp really solidly on here like this. You want to make sure these trees are nice and dark. All right. And then stamp it like that. And because it's a larger stamp, you want to kind of press in the middle just to make sure it connects and stays stamped like that. All right. And since we have this out, we want to go ahead and bring in my sentiment piece. And we're using, here we go, we're using also the More Wishes because this stamp set doesn't come with sentiments. So we're using the More Wishes to you do a sentiment. So we're going to use the Merry in this one and the Scripted Christmas. All right, so we have the Christmas on here. And we have the Merry on here. So we're just going to lightly tap off and then stamp it here. That way it's not so dark and we'll be able to see our Misty Moonlight Christmas straight through that. All Alright, so here we have the misty moonlight. And we're going to do Christmas. Like that. It's a little bit light, so I'm going to restamp it. And because it is photopolymer, you can go right down on the same place where you were. You just have to line it up like that. All right. Oops, I doubled it. Oh well, it actually looks kind of cool, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right. Now, what I forgot to do was to pre-cut this with the stamps. I meant to do the magic of TV thing, so let me go ahead and run over here and cut this real quick for you. All right. All right, so we have our trees right here. And then what we're going to do is we kind of need to trim them a little bit because it's not going to fit across the card very well, right? Because the card's going to open. So instead, we're going to just kind of squiggle cut right here, like that. And then I want to make sure this side is kind of squiggle cut as well. There we go. And so then no one will know that you cut those apart. All right, because we're not even going to put them on the same side, so no one will know. All right, so we're going to use dimensionals to put these on our card, like this. So dimensional, and I want it to be really stay put, so I'm going to use a lot of dimensionals because I don't want it to come off because it's kind of holding the card together as well. The nice thing is this card will stand up well in your, on the mantle of the person that you give it to. It will stand up nicely and show off beautifully. All right, so be careful what you write on the inside, because if they do stand it up on their mantle, everyone will see what you wrote on the inside. So we're going to put this one over here. Nope, sorry. We're going to put this one over here like that, and this one over here like that. All right, now what we're going to do is I decided after I finished the other card, I really wanted a little bit extra. But I think we're going to go ahead and do the trick where we cut this in half, and that way top and bottom has the frame to it. I didn't do that on my first sample card, but I am going to on this one, because I do like that look versus just having it offset. I was going to offset it, but now I've decided, nope, I want to do this. And it is not unusual for me to change my card when I start remaking it for my video or live. You all should be used to that by now, but that's why I have my original to show you. Sometimes even during classes or club, I change things up just because all of a sudden a better idea occurs to me. All right, so there, that will look so much better. All right, so we're going to glue this down, except you can't glue it on both sides because then the card's not going to open, right? So you have to pick which side you're going to glue it on. And I'm making sure that it's glued right so that the corners are right here at these corners. And I'm going to glue mine on this side. So I know that on this half, I can glue it. All right, and there's no point in putting any on the white because it's further in, so you want to make sure you just put it on the blue. Misty Moonlight. All right. Here we go. I'll lay this down. And like that. All right, let me just double check, make sure I got it. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna press that. All right, and so then it kind of closes. It slides up under that tree. You can see there. All right, the next thing I did was I added just a little bit of night sky. So I used the stars and my blueberry bushel and just stamped a little bit of the night sky. I'm going to do it like this. So not even the whole thing, just a little bit. All right, just a little bit to give it that night sky look. All right, like that. Then we're going to use these white. These are from the Adhesive Back Sequence Trio. So we're going to just use some of the white sequence to add a little pizzazz. Where's my take your pick tool? Doo-doo. It's over there. All right, I'll just use this one. Here we go. So I'm going to have it where it's closed. All right. So I have it just under there. And then a small one. Oh, that's catching. All right, here we go. Over there. And then we'll do another large one down here. And a small one. Let's see. Do a small one up there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Need to have an odd number of them. So I'll do another one over here. All right. So we have our card like that. And then it opens like this. And then they can stand it like that. So when they stand it, it will look like that. Cute, isn't it? I love this new DSP card design. I think it's super fun. I'm so thankful that Beth taught us this at our team meeting. All right. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and stamp in the blueberry bushel these trees. Let me clean these stamps. You'd think this was dirty, but it's not. I washed it and it looks dirty, but it's still clean and it's still cleaning stamps. All right. So let's put these on there. And I'm just going to be stamping part of these trees on here. So I don't need to ink up the whole thing. I just need to ink up half of it. All right. So I just want to make sure I get it well inked. All right. And then bring in our envelope. And we got a hair. There we go. Just to give it that little bit of foresty look. All right, like that. Close this up before I drop something in it or drop it all together. And here is the card. So this was the original card that I made. You can see where it has just the white instead of the white with the mist. And I kind of like the midnight mist? Misty Moonlight, sorry. And then I put it, because this was a nicer set of trees, I moved this up higher. But this time this was a nicer look, so I moved it down lower. so you can see the difference there of the two. All right, so this was my first one. I like this one better. And here you go. We have our Christmas card for May. A little late, but you know, we'll just pretend it's the 25th of the month instead of the 31st of the month. So, all right, enjoy making your Christmas card a little late, but have fun. If you have Christmas DSP, this could work for anything. So just remember, you can make a quick and easy card. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.